State Representative Jean Schmidt. Welcome to Message from the House.
Well, thank you for having me on such a cold day.
You're going to liven it up.
I am going to warm it up, yes.
And I'm excited to talk first a little bit about your background. So I want to learn a little bit about, your time as a legislator and a little bit about the district that you represent, and that will kick us off.
Well, I started as a township trustee in 1990 and worked my way to come here. And I was here from 2000 to 2004, ran for the state senate. Heartbreaking, lost it by 22 votes, but 6 months later ended up in Congress. So sometimes God closes a door and opens a bigger door. And I was there for 8 years. Voters decided they wanted a change, and so I taught at a local college. When this seat came available, I wanted to come back because I believed that I could truly make a difference, especially with the experience that I've had at the local, state, and national level. I born and raised in my voting precinct, grew up on a farm, lived behind the farm. I was married for almost 48 years. We would be celebrating our 50th this coming Saturday. Had one child and two fabulous grandchildren that are in high school. In fact, the one is going to be a senior next year and is looking at colleges, which scares me.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just an infant, but
right. That's absolutely incredible. I have to ask about your accomplished athletic background. Talk me through a little bit. You're a big runner, I know.
I'm a huge runner. I've been running since my daughter was born, picked up a woman's magazine because I had postpartum depression. And it said, "Are you eating bonbons in the middle of the day?" No, they were Hershey's miniatures. And it said, "Get out and run." And I literally put on a pair of old flat tennis shoes and ran. And outside of a couple of injuries, I've been running every day ever since. I've done about 172 marathons. I've done all 50 states, and I have run every single flying pig, which allows me to be a streaker. And my number is 178. They gave us numbers that when I quit, that number will die with me.
Oh, wonderful.
Isn't that neat?
Yeah, that is neat. And that is in Cincinnati, correct?
Cincinnati, May 5th this year.
That is amazing. Yeah, so it sounds like you have a very strong work ethic is what I'm getting from that entire story.
When you grow up on a farm, you have a very strong work ethic.
Yeah, I can only imagine. So committees are starting back up. We're back in Columbus. Obviously, you were the chairwoman of the House Health Committee. I kind of want to just ask your perspective on how you go about leading that committee and legislating, such a large, important committee.
It is an important committee. I look at the bills that have been presented, and I look at the ones that I think are the most important at the moment to really flesh out. But I want to give everybody a fair hearing. I work with the sponsors of the bills to make sure that they have done the due diligence of asking the people that are concerned about the bills what they think. So to have an IP meeting, an interested party meeting, and to work with them if I think that we can get the bill passed with a little bit of a massaging to the bill, a little change in focus.
Definitely a good thing to have an expert, steering that committee. I want to ask, February's Heart Health Month. That is specifically why we wanted to film this in February. You have introduced the Healthy Cardiac Monitoring Act. Kind of talk me through what that bill does.
Grade school and high school athletes have to get a physical, but they're pretty easy physicals.
Right.
And what this will do is have a checklist that the student, probably with their parents' help, will check off. And so in the checkoff, if it says, there was stroke or embolisms or cardiac arrest in the family, there's going to be a more comprehensive physical therapy for that child. And Representative Rader had a constituent whose son died on the field. They had no idea that he was at risk, yet there were issues in the family that would have suggested that more attention would be paid, or maybe that wasn't the game he should have been playing.
Wow.
So it's to help make sure that the child is really healthy enough to do the sport that they wish to do.
Yeah, being proactive with those Injuries are definitely important. I want to talk about the bill that is in your committee right now. Along the same lines, there's a proposal to designate February 14th as Cardiovascular Health Awareness Day. Why was that date chosen? I have an idea. And what is the goal of having that official designation for the state?
Well, it's Valentine's Day. And, restaurants will, like La Rosa's in Cincinnati, will make a pizza in the shape of a heart. We think of Valentine's Day as the day of your heart and your loved one. And what this will allow us to do is focus on awareness of cardiovascular disease. I lost my husband to a pulmonary embolism. Had a simple operation. We knew that he was prone to embolisms. We took every precaution out there to make sure that it didn't erupt, but it did. To know that you have an issue and then try to be conscious about your activities, what you're going to do in the future. Even if you have a colonoscopy and you're going under, that anesthesia can cause a problem with it. So that's what it's going to do, is to focus on how healthy is your heart? Because I would only hope that people can celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary with their loved one. That's the last thing I thought about before my husband died. I was running and I thought, our 50th is coming up in a couple of years. How are we going to celebrate it? Well, I'm celebrating it alone, and I don't want anybody else to have to do that.
I am so sorry to hear that, and thank you for sharing it. I think that raises awareness and hopefully is a good, inspiration to other people to take, everything seriously. I want to ask about these official designations, right? Why do we do these in the state of Ohio? What is the goal to designate the 14th as
To
this?
get people to talk about it.
Yeah.
Whether it's for leukemia or for colon cancer or for I can't think of the other ones that we do.
Yeah.
But to designate that day or that month, February's Heart Healthy Month.
Right.
October is Breast Cancer Month.
Yeah.
And so when you have a month that says it's breast cancer and people are wearing pink and they're talking about it on TV, maybe it'll spur that woman to go get that breast exam so that if there's anything lingering in their breast, they can get it taken care of.
Thank you for explaining that. I want to take a little bit of a shift. You have said in an interview, I did read your interviews that you've talked about the health committee, a couple of them, that these tick-borne diseases, right?
Yes.
That is a priority for you to address legislatively. Why? And talk me through it.
Well, we have a lot of designations for tick-borne illnesses, but something new has come on the horizon and is called alpha-gal. And alpha-gal is an allergy.
Okay.
And when this tick has alpha-gal, then the person can become allergic to meat, to red meat, the protein in red meat.
Wow.
And it was Representative Creech that brought it to my attention. Our offices are very close. He had a constituent with it. And I thought, wow, well, at least it's not in my end of Ohio. Well, yeah, actually it is. I took a quick trip to Florida a couple of weeks ago, and on the plane, a gentleman from Cincinnati has alpha-gal.
Wow.
It's not a disease. It's an illness, an allergy, but there's really no answer for how do you treat this.
Yeah.
So to at least get it out on the radar, and for people that get tick bites can happen all year round. They usually stay dormant when it's frigidly cold, so we haven't seen those little critters. But my sister's dog had a tick on him over Christmas, so they are there 12 months out of the year. And in addition to Lyme disease and other diseases, this is also an illness that we need to be made aware of. And the Department of Health was fine with adding it to the list.
That is incredible. I also know someone with Lyme disease, and it is definitely, it causes a big pause in people's life.
It does.
It's a big illness, specifically that. And I can't imagine having an allergy that there's no treatment for or any answers to. So that is very fascinating. Thank you for discussing that. And I want to ask, do you have any other health-related legislation or bills that are a priority for that committee or even that we're gonna see during this committee? It doesn't necessarily have to be, top of mind importance, but, I'm sure there's a lot of bills. So talk me through that.
Well, there are. I mean, we have bills that would examine what kind of activities EMTs can do inside of a hospital with transporting patients, surgical assistants, and surgical technicians. Right now, in the surgical setting, there is no actual requirement or licensure for people that assist the surgeon. And while 99% of the time they're qualified individuals, we just don't know. And so perhaps we should make sure that everybody in that operating room has the education and the ability to do their performance in the way that it should be done.
And I know that that is a Rep. Kelly Dieter bill.
Kelly Teeter bill, yeah. She also has a nursing bill that will put nursing definitions into the 21st century. It's kind of a technical bill.
Yeah, it's nice having you guys chair and co-chair with your either, health background or medical background. I know that that's very good experience to have on that committee. I want to ask, of all of the different committees that you have sat on or chaired, what's special to you about health?
First off, it touches everybody's life.
Yeah.
In one way or another. And we want to make sure that whether we're going to the doctor or the medicines that we're taking or our focus in Ohio on health is what is desirable for the people. And the health committee directs that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Representative Jean Schmidt, for coming on the podcast. I quickly want to talk about our social media. You can follow us on the Ohio House GOP Caucus on Facebook, Ohio House _GOP on Instagram, and OHR GOP Caucus on Twitter. You can subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Representative, thank you again.
Thank you so much.